Hi, everyone. Welcome to Oh, You Too, the podcast where we talk honestly about life and those moments that make you say, oh, wait, you too? I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie.
We'll share real stories, gentle reminders, and honest conversations to help you feel a little less alone.
So, how are you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. Welcome, everybody, to our fifth episode.
Again, I think I said this in episode 3 that for those who are still listening and still following us, this is quite impressive.
Thank you.
Because seriously, because I'm the one who's editing, so I do apologize for all the technicalities that are happening, all the clips and pop sounds and all that. And right now we have multiple cameras on us, and they're not all different, same cameras. So it's all different. So with all the technicalities, I can understand like there might be some frustrations, and I apologize for that. But also, I really appreciate those who are still like going through it, because again, we are still trying to figure this out.
Yeah, we are. But I hope you're having as much as fun as we are, because this is exciting for us to share parts of our lives and stories that we've experienced. And I've already gotten some texts from people saying like, oh, just heard the first episode.
Yes.
And it was relatable.
Yeah. Like when we were recording this, episode 5, episode 1 already came out.
Woohoo.
Like about an hour ago.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? That is finally out in the open.
Right?
Yeah.
I was super nervous leading up to it. But after it launched and I saw that link, I said, oh, it's happening. It's going to happen. Here we go. And I felt more excited than nervous. And I'm just really glad that it's us.
Yeah, I think it's something that I am very grateful that is between us. I think if it was like any other people, because I did a podcast before with my former staff, miss you all, but it's different when you're doing it with a friend. A podcast with a friend is much more familiar. It's much more comfortable.
Yeah.
And also, I know that with these episodes, when I look back at them, I will look back at these and I'll be like grateful for these memories shared, and also get to know you a bit more as well.
Yeah, on a different level, on like a therapist level, on like a deeper friendship level, and like where we are in our current adulthood and in our seasons. I agree.
Yeah. So that being said, we want to start off with a small talk question.
Yeah.
So we got some questions from you guys a few weeks ago. Thank you all for your questions. And side note, if you have questions for us, small talk, deep talk, any questions, if you want to get to know us or send those to us. We do have an email. I forgot the email. I think it's like ou2sj@gmail.com. Anyway.
Probably right
Or
here.
put it on our comments, below. And if you have questions for us, we are most likely bound to try to answer them if it's in the scope of like what we are enjoying, what we are interested in sharing about. Because I don't know how many more episodes we will have, but one of the episodes I would love for us to just answer questions that our viewers, our friends and family members are asking us, so that we could share that. Because I know even with the last week's episodes, we heard about Sarah's story, and there are things that she was sharing that maybe you want her to kind of dive deeper about. Maybe because one thing I didn't ask is like, oh, what other jobs did you like? What exactly other jobs did you like work at? So like those kind of questions, feel free to put in the comments, DM us, email us, send it away.
Now we're going to get into our small talk, those questions. And this one was sent from Grace.
Yeah, Grace Kim. Congratulations on your marriage.
The question is, what was something we thought was cool back in middle school?
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good question, but also kind of difficult because it's been a while since we were in middle school. It's not a time where I would like look back with with lots of joy and sentiment. Well, I do, but it's mostly like cringe. So, man, like the middle schooler that I was, man, I think what I thought was cool. Oh, okay. So I remember, okay, there was no such thing as streaming services. But back then, back in our days, there was like for us to listen to music, we would have to buy CD albums.
Yep.
So it was cool back then if you got the newest CD albums. I remember back then, I was in middle school in year 2001 to 2000. No, just kidding. That's my grad. So 1999 to 2001.
You're showing our age right now.
I know. I was born in 1900s. But I remember it was cool when any of our friends got the newest like Backstreet Boys album, the newest NSYNC album.
That's right.
Or even when before K-pop was like real this K-pop now, the first wave was H.O.T., SES, Fly to the Sky, Finkel. Yeah, so I remember I didn't know anything about K-pop, but then my cousin, my auntie, she was introducing me to some K-pop music, and then I asked my mom to buy me a couple of Korean albums, CD albums, and she bought me this H.O.T. I think it's fifth album, something like a Castle, and then Finkel's second album.
Yes.
So it was those, and then I remember when I bought that, and also, oh my gosh, there's another group. Anyway, when I brought those albums to school, my friends were like, oh my gosh, these boys are so hot. Oh my gosh, music is so cool. I remember that was really cool back then, just to have CD albums, and just to be the one to, I do have H.O.T.'s fifth album. So, and not SES, it's Finkel's like second album. So that was really cool. I think that was cool back then, CD album collecting.
You know what though, hearing about that now, I still think that's cool.
Yeah.
And I think young people, like as if I'm not young, but people now are collecting vinyls, stuff like that. So similar concept.
Yeah, I have a friend who collects vinyls, and I think that's really cool. And I think vintage is the next cool thing, especially for younger-ins than us. So that was cool. Do you remember anything? Like, do you remember what you were like in high school, Sarah?
Middle school?
Oh, sorry, middle school. Yes.
As you were talking about the K-pop albums, I remember their fashion.
Yes.
And it was like a tight top and baggy jeans.
Oh, yes. And like frosted tips.
Yes,
and
frosted tips and the bangs.
Yeah.
So like the bangs were really in. And I used to actually have this metal rectangle belt buckle.
Okay.
And it was like a thick canvas belt that I would wear over baggy jeans. And one of them belonged to my sister. Her name's Kathleen, so she had a K. And then I somehow got it, and I was like, oh, K stands for Korea. Because I'm like, so Korean. I was like, if I think about it, that is so cringy, but I thought I was so cool. In my baggiest baggy pants and that metal belt buckle. That was it. Maybe it's a SoCal thing.
No. I think it was just an overall Asian thing.
Yeah.
I remember, wow, memories are like now flooding back. I remember bleached hair, but it's not it's not all bleach. It's like the front parts, right?
Yeah, or like the tip tips. for the guys.
Yeah.
Their spiky hairs.
And then girls would like really like gel their base to make it a pointy, kind of like anime hair. Yeah, as anime hair.
That's so true.
That's so I will confess, like a lot of my cousins and my older like church oppas and 언니들, they definitely had those fashion, and also I think overalls were also cool back then too.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes. And my sister's 5 years older, so I would watch her follow trends, and like the trends of her time when I was in middle school was very thin eyebrows. Yes. Super thin eyebrows. And sometimes you would joke and say like, oh, you're going to draw with a Sharpie. Or you kind of look like Ronald McDonald. But that's what was in. Everyone was walking around with thin eyebrows. And if you just smear it, you get super upset because there's nothing left.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, another cool thing. Okay, this might be like hitting high school, but I know for a fact that it was happening while we're in middle school.
Yeah.
Photo studios. Okay, that's
Guilty.
so
Guilty.
Yeah, okay.
Guilty.
Okay, so back then there was no social media. There was no right now we can take selfies here and there. Our phones can take videos. Like right now, this is being recorded by my iPhone.
Yeah.
But back then, we didn't have those kind of phones to make those high quality pictures. So for us to have fun, we would go to the mall and go to these photo studios.
Yep.
It's like kind of like those the selfie photo booths that we have right now, like those photo box and everything. But there's like a professional photographer with like this photo backdrop. Usually it's like some sort of like glittery or blue.
Yeah, or like shooting star, clouds.
And then there's like a stool. Like, all right, here you could take pictures with your friends. It was like a birthday party thing, but also it could be like an after school like hangout. And we don't just take pictures and get them printed. We also trade it. It's like photo cards, and we also always write.
I had hundreds.
Yeah,
I had hundreds in like these piles. I actually went to my parents' house because they said clean out all your stuff, and I found a whole shoebox full of pictures. And I was like, "What is this?" And I started looking through it. I'm like, "Oh, so cute, so cute." And then I noticed like the maturity or the desire to be mature. It was showing. It was kind of sad. Because as a child, you're like, oh, I want to be a grown up. But then as a grown up, I'm like, oh, I miss those days when I could just be a child. I was feeling that, reminiscing on those pictures.
Yeah.
And the poses are crazy. You talked about that one stool. You're fitting 5 people on that one stool somehow. Yes. And they're all like elbow to elbow and, like.
They're doing this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. It floods back the memories.
And so a year ago, I found my pictures too. I found them in my little this old binder that I had.
Yeah.
And I invited some of our young adult sisters from my old church to just come over. And I said, hey, do you want to see what I did back when I was in high school, middle school? And
back in the days.
And then they're like, what is this? They're so shocked, so confused. They're in their mid-20s. So this was like way after their time.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm like, yeah. And we flipped it over. We see everyone's like they write notes to me. Like, hey, Julie. Like, cause if you got a photo picture from a photo studio picture from a studio pic from a friend, then you're in. You only get the chosen ones. But anyway, I got so many, and I'm like, yeah, I was just popular.
Yeah, because you can like buy 10 pack or like a 30 pack, and that's it.
Yeah,
you don't have ample amount. You gotta just have this one stack that you choose who you want to give it to.
Yeah, honestly, that was actually kind of precious time. Because in a way, you are encouraging yourself to like connect with people, and also I feel like it may have like boosted some confidence because you wouldn't take picture if you're like not, if you don't really hate yourself. So I remember that was cool. I only did it once though because I was so like self-conscious. But I remember I got a lot of studio pics.
Yeah. Fun times. Good question. It's leading to like really good conversation right now.
Thank you,
for sure. So that was really fun to reminisce on our middle school years.
It was fun. Yeah.
So I think it can segue into now Pastor Julie's portion.
Yes.
Well, I say Pastor Julie because we're going to be talking about your career path and what led you to choose this career.
Yeah, I feel like some people already know this story, but and let me just preface by saying everyone's journey to their jobs, as you see in Sarah's life, but you also you'll see in mine shortly, is that everyone's journeys are very different. But at the same time, we do believe the same God who is orchestrating it all. So my journey will be different from other pastors' journey. My experiences will be different from other pastor experiences. But at the same time, I feel like there might be some experiences that whether you're a pastor or not, there might be some that may resonate with all of us. especially with the challenges and some of the encouragements that I received. So I hope that it does. So again, prefacing that, not saying that I'm like the standard pastor. I'm definitely not the standard pastor at all, nor do I have the standard journey or the typical journey. So just prefacing that. So that being said, I actually want to be a therapist.
Oh yeah. That's why we also went to the same grad school at first.
We were originally going into, like, I was part of the MFT program at Western Seminary because my undergrad, and even before undergrad in high school, I actually wanted to be a therapist specifically for teenagers. I really had a heart for the youth. I was discipling a youth student at the time, even as a high schooler. I was discipling a middle schooler, and that brought so much joy. And I wanted to like do something that makes me like, I wanted to enjoy what I do for my career. So
For sure.
in junior year and senior year, I decided to move away from what I thought was I was going to be I wanted to be a zoologist, or even like the National Geographic photographers, like to travel around and just stay in like 12 hours just trying to take a picture of a bird that comes out of nowhere. I wanted to do that.
Wow.
But then, God gave me the heart for youth and gave me the heart for younger brothers and sisters in Christ, or younger people, and just walking with them in their journey, especially in their mental health journey. So I applied for colleges with a major of psychology. And then I went to UC Riverside with a major of psychology. But then I wanted to stay for one more year because of personal reasons. So I minored in religious studies. But that was just like a thing where, I was interested in religion, and I was very much involved in church. I was born in a Christian home. My parents were involved as praise team members and leaders and all that. So I was always at church. So it was very, so because of that, I wanted to stay a bit more, but I never was interested in being a pastor, because all up until like my early 20s, I wanted to just be a therapist. So 1 year into MFT, that's when God called me to a different path. And it's interesting because I never thought of being a pastor. Being a therapist for youth, I think that's what I want to do. I was a Sunday school teacher at my old church back then, my home church, and my friend who was a youth pastor of our church at that time, he was planning to step down to take care of his family because his wife was pregnant, and he wanted to pursue a career that'd be a little more stable and whatnot. So I respect that. So we were praying about who would replace him. And he said, Julie, I've been praying about it, but I feel like you'll be the best candidate to replace me. I genuinely saw this as a curveball. I did not expect this at all. I was like, wait, what, Russ? Like, what? So I was like, are you sure? Because there were other people, and also maybe someone else would come in because the application was open for a while and no one was taking it. So I was like, okay, let me pray on it. So I was praying, and I remember distinctly, I was praying for a while. And I remember one day I was praying in our youth chapel. And then I remember God was leading me to a passage in Isaiah. And it was a passage in Isaiah where God said he is going to restore Israel. He will bring his people back, but there will come some hardships, some things to like make them turn upside down to be restored. And as I was reading this, I was reading this in the light of asking God, like, God, if you're calling me to be a pastor, then you got to give me like direction, because I don't take this lightly. I'm not going to be like, oh, just because my friend Russell or the youth pastor at the time said so, like, I'm going to take it. It's like, no, it has to be by God. And if God calls me, then I do believe there has to be two things. It's a calling. Yep. And that calling has to be confirmed by God himself and also his people. So through that passage in Isaiah, it hit me that this is what God is leading me towards. Like, I want you to be the pastor to help stabilize this ministry, to help build a foundation for this youth ministry. And while I was thinking about this, I was actually bringing up to my parents about it too. Like, what do you think of me being a pastor, being a therapist? And they're like, well, that actually fits you. That fits you. And I was talking to my other friends. And I was talking to my friends. They're like, wait, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So I think having people who I know are praying for me.
Yep.
And also God speaking to me.
Yeah.
It really reveals that it really helped confirm like, oh, I guess I am called to this. And I also trusted the church that as I was getting interviewed, that they will discern as well. So them accepting me is also a confirmation. Yeah. But I never thought that, oh, because of reasons X, Y, and Z, because of my skill set X, Y, and Z, that I'm good for this. I learned quickly, like before that I did not think that I could deserve or have that calling in me, because I like that can't be me. That can't be me. I was thinking that, but then
in God's mysterious ways,
yeah,
He's led you to that path.
Yeah.
And all of the trainings, all of the life experience thus far has led you to that role.
Right. Honestly, that's so true, because in areas of leadership, so I was in a lot of leadership opportunities, middle school, high school, and then even college. And I remember in college, I was a discipler at a campus ministry. And I was also an officer for our campus ministry. And my director at the time, who was overseeing our campus director, she shared with me, she's like, Julie, I've been praying for you. And I feel like God is calling you to have, like, to pursue a ministry or a career where it's not going to be about like enjoying the harvest, but it's about toiling the soil, about pulling out the weeds. Like, you're doing all the foundation part, and someone else is going to, so that someone else can reap it. Now, as someone who was like 20 years old and hearing all that, I'm like, I don't want that.
It's like Moses.
I know, I'm Moses. I'm not going to see the promised land. So I was like, what the heck? Like, Kanzani, I don't want that at all. So, but then over time, now that I'm where I'm at and going through these 15, pretty much 15 years of being a pastor, it is, yes, a hard calling, but I realize that's what God has been leading me towards, and how God has cultivated and trained me. And honestly, it's such a blessing. I find so much joy in building a foundation, and also there is such excitement to like figure out how to stabilize a ministry, and also seeing how God works in places where it seemed dry and hopeless, but then seeing God making the grass green and making the soil a little bit more softer, and then the next person's ready to receive it, and seeing that they have a much easier time than where I began. It was such a, I am blessed. I really am honored. I wouldn't change it any other way. So this is all God for sure.
For sure. I feel that way. It's like a privilege to be where we're at, right? How do you think you've changed as a person, like in this path to becoming a pastor, being a pastor, and serving in this capacity?
Yeah, that's a good question. In the beginning, when I started pastoral ministry, it was 2012. So, and I didn't have any like ministry training. Yeah. I was not in my MDiv program just yet. I was about to start it maybe a few months after. So how, as a pastor, how I started off with, okay, just gotta do what we have usually done. It's like tradition driven, and doing the same things we usually do. Also, trying to do things all on my own.
Kind of lion's den. Like, go in there and figure it out.
I was kind of thrown in there because
cling on to Jesus.
Yeah. Thankfully, I did have some great mentors, and I had great support. Yeah. Because back then I had our EM ministry we were very tight knit because we grew up together. So I had a great support and leadership. And the youth, they were familiar with me because I was their Sunday school teacher. So it was like easy for me to be like, I can do this. I'll just do like what I usually do. but also I will not lean on others because I don't want to burden them. So when I first began, I did ministry all on my own. I did all the trainings, I did all the discipleships, I did all the meetings.
Yeah.
I quickly learned that ministry is not a solo thing. You gotta, and you have to, because it's by design that we are to work together with the church. Early years though, I made a huge mistake that, I'll work with the people I want to work with. So that's pretty much just youth and EM, young adults, because those are my friends. It's easier. But with parents, KM, no, I'm not going to work with them. They're too much of a work. It's too much work to try to cooperate with them. And also I feel like this might be like an old Korean church mindset where parents should not be involved in the youth. They are a distraction. They are discouraging the youth to grow in their faith. So I'd rather not have them because they're going to hinder the youth's growth. KM was also a problem. I thought KM was going to just make us do whatever they want. So I had this very rebellious youth pastor mindset and heart. But weird thing is, youth ministry was growing. It was thriving.
Yeah.
We had a great relationship with EM, young adults, with the college students who are former youth alumni.
Yeah.
So we had this growing and growing. But 5 years in to that ministry, I realized we hit a peak. We hit a ceiling where I couldn't reach because the students were dealing with things at home, dealing with things that are harder, that's beyond school scope.
Yeah.
And I was so humbled because God rebuked me in that moment where having the parents involved is not a hindrance, but they are the backbone of youth ministry.
Yeah.
All this time, I thought we were on two different teams. We're up against each other to figure out what's best for this youth student. But I realized we were on the same team. We're on God's team. At the end, I started to realize the heart of the parents, and I realized and learned that the parents, they really want the best for their kids.
Right.
They will do whatever it takes to have their kids be safe, yes, have friends, yes, but also grow in their faith. So, and also I realized the more I understand the KM side, that too, is like that's also their heart too. I think it's all this time out of my pride. I thought like I was alone in this. I had to do things on my own. I can't trust the adults. I can't trust the older folks. But then I had to ask myself, when was the last time I had to really I sat down and talked with them, sat down and see their heart, know their vision, like the pastor's vision. It was hard.
Yeah.
And then it was sad. Like I felt so bad that I led our youth to see KM that way too. Even though I never said KM was a problem or parents were a problem, but either the way that my attitude, the way that I would present myself, some subtle comments, it had led to some of our students to be more dependent on each other rather than with their parents and with the church as a whole, that we are one church. Thankfully, by the grace of God, with my first church, the last 2 years I had with them, I was able to encourage them to start loving the church more and encouraging a little bit more collaborations and now all that. It was not the best. I could have done a lot more if I could, but I was grateful for that time because I changed in that moment to realize I can't, to learn that from doing everything all on my own to leaning on people, trusting other people, and then walking with them to serve the next generation. So that's the biggest change in me when in terms of how I do ministry.
Do you think those are parts of your growing pains?
Yeah, definitely my growing pains. Because, as a person, that's how I used to handle things, try to figure things out all on my own, to navigate all on my own. If
you were to say something to past Julie,
oh my God,
who was in that point of I'm done, or I'm so tired, or I feel really alone, and I don't have parents to back me up in this, that Julie, what would you say to her?
Wow, what a therapy session right now. I think I would say to her, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
It is hard. You're not alone in this. Not only God is with you, but there's others if you allow yourself to open your heart to them. Because to ask for help
Yeah.
is such a vulnerable thing.
It is.
It's such a vulnerable thing. Even asking someone, hey, can you pray for me? Is even saying, hey, can you, like, I'm asking you to help me by praying for me.
And fight these battles with me.
Right. It's such a vulnerable, difficult moment, especially for me who grew up thinking it's all on me. I got to figure things out all on my own.
첫째 mindset, firstborn.
Yeah. So it is hard, but at the same time, it is so liberating to lean on others and to know that in that moment, you're not too much, like your burden is not too much. And the joy and the honor you give unto them to walk with you.
Yeah.
This is how God designed us to be, to lean on each other, not to say that they are the solution to our problem, but to have them remind us of the ultimate person that can give us a solution.
Yeah,
so
for
giving
sure.
me the space to be reminded that God is in control.
What an opportunity for other people to show up for you. Like you give them the invitation, as vulnerable as that feels, like, hey, help. And then they show up. That also helps you debunk some of the lies that the enemy's trying to plant,
Yeah.
Like you need to do this on your own. Why can't you figure this out? That's totally the enemy whispering to you that you need to do it alone, that you are alone, but you're not. You're in a body of Christ, like full body with all the body parts.
Yeah. And real talk, like I still struggle with this right now. And I know we talked about this briefly off the screen, but I do struggle with asking for help, especially if I know the other side is like tired or the other side is burnt out. It's hard to ask. But at the very least, I need to understand it's not hard to ask for prayers. It's not hard. It's not hard to ask. It's not even, it's also not my decision to make their decision on if they want to help or not. So it's important for me to say, hey, I've been learning, I'm still learning to just simply ask for it without expecting a yes. Just saying this is where I need help in prayer, but also in other ways.
Yeah.
But it's an invitation. I can see it's an invitation for them to be willing to help me in this way. Yeah. And if they can't, then just, show grace in that. Or not show grace. It's more like
show up.
Like show up. At the very least, they showed up for it and be thankful for them. So something I'm still learning about.
I think prayer and praying for someone is one of the greatest gifts you can give to somebody. Because what else matters? Everything else tangible, all of that fades. Nothing's really, and it comes back to Ecclesiastes, meaningless, everything's meaningless. I really think prayer is one of the greatest gifts. And the type of comfort and peace that comes with prayer, I think that's a beautiful thing to gift to someone.
Yeah. One of my friends, we use this app called Marco Polo. And basically it's kind of like a video messaging. You leave a video message for each other. And there are a few times where I'll just drop a message for her and just telling her what I'm going through. Yeah. And then she will respond with prayer. And I'm always grateful that she does, because I don't hear people's prayers from me that often. We usually hear, oh, I'll pray for you. And we trust that they will pray for us. But then it's not common to be like, hey, I'm going to pray for you. Can I pray for you right now?
Right now.
Yeah.
And here it comes.
Yeah. So I treat the phrase like I'll pray for you very seriously, but also I cherish the moments with people right there in real time. Gives me the opportunity to hear their prayers, because in that moment the Spirit is working in them to speak truth into my life. Yeah. So it is special for me. It is I feel like much more needed. I if I could, I want to promote a campaign of pray for each other now.
Yeah.
Like now, I will pray for you. No, let's pray now. I want to really promote that hard because, again, in that moment, God is speaking to you, but also speaking to this person you're interceding for.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful experience. It's such a divine, holy experience. And also it deepens the bond. You can't hate the person you're praying for. There's no hostility. There's love. There's grace. There's peace. There's comfort.
Yeah.
So there's a deeper connection between you and that person.
Seems like you enjoy prayer.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I say I'm very selfish when it comes to prayer. So feel free to please pray for me. Please pray for me. I receive it all.
Yeah. What are some other things that you enjoy as a pastor?
Other than, well, prayer is like for every member. But for me, what brings me joy is, I guess what brings me joy when I disciple students, discipling kids. I think youth is a special time because it's the time when you're trying to figure out your identity. In the middle school, we start asking, who are we? What is our purpose in life? And we start forming our identities based not on our primary circle, which is usually our parents, but now it's the other circles. Back then, it was just friends and sports and grades and everything. But now there's so many, our social circles have expanded to different layers and levels, like digital lots, identity, and other things. But being able to walk with our students and seeing them in real time, figuring out who Jesus is, and giving me the chance to walk, but have the front row seats to see that all, brings so much joy. And especially when you do ministry for long enough and you see your kids now adults and getting married and getting kids. For me, it's like, that's so crazy that some of my first students are like parents now. And for some of them, they are walking in faith. I can't help but to be honored that I was a part of their lives just a little bit. So that brings so much joy, walking with people, not just students, but also young adults. I think that's joy that was able to serve and minister to many women and to many young men in their college years, and as an older sister to them, to encourage them in their faith, and then to also having me be allowed to walk with them in their life stages, to grieve with them in their losses, but to praise in their wins, and to remind each other of God's love. Because I think that's something that brings such great joy, that I get to do this, and this is my job. I get paid to do this. I also get paid to preach the word, and that in itself is scary because I'm not a great speaker. I was telling Sarah this earlier that Sarah, you have the voice that will make people want to listen more to you. I don't have that voice.
I think she does.
Well, that's nice, but for me to have that kind of like a vocal presence, I need to have. I feel there's a particular voice in my mind. But to be used by God to point others to Christ in a very obvious way. All jobs we are to point to Christ.
Right.
It's like our job. We were everywhere, wherever we are, it's a ministry. If you're working in a company, that is your ministry. You're pointing others to Christ, your coworkers. If you're a teacher, your students, your faculty, your coworkers, your other teachers, that is your ministry. Meaning that ministry is it's a place where it's an area where a lifestyle or life stage that you being used to build God's kingdom and to point others to Him. And for me, it's one of the greatest jobs to do so very explicitly. And I think also another joy, if I can add one last one, is nowadays it's a greater joy that people are choosing to come to church, and allowing me to be part of their lives in this way.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, especially in Silicon Valley, we live in the Bay Area, so it's very affluent here, very comfortable here. It's so comfortable to the point where you don't need Jesus to be comfortable. You don't need Jesus to be successful or happy. Everywhere else in Silicon Valley, like everyone's doing all of that without Jesus. But when people are wanting to grow more and know more and also want to converse with me about faith because they want something beyond what they see, that's the Spirit working. But also there is this excitement that comes to it. So for me, is whenever people are willing to just show up, whenever people are wanting to ask for prayers or being vulnerable with me, it's like I'm so honored by that.
Yeah. And the things that you're sharing, it's a lot of giving and it's a lot of showing up that you do for other people. If there are just a few ways that other people can show up for you, or like, what are some things that they can do for you to encourage you?
Well, let me throw that back at you. What do you think will help me to, because you know me pretty well as a person and also as a pastor.
Yeah.
What do you think has helped me to be encouraged by others?
I think you really enjoy those small moments that I would text you and say, hey, I just saw this and thought of you. You know, when I do those random check-ins or like small written notes, words of affirmation, the times that you share with me that things are hard and I just grab you and then we pray. That's what you've told me are like really encouraging. Do those give you some answers?
Yeah. No, I think when people initiate.
Yeah, there you go.
Because,
you heard that.
Because a lot of times, like a lot of things I do, I initiate. I'm the one to follow up. I'm the one to reach out. So it's not, so for me, it's even more precious for me. And I'm more grateful when people reach out, be like, hey, just thinking of you, praying for you, without me even asking. Or I think Sarah does this, but some of my friends do this too, where just out of the blue, they'll be like, I'm very grateful for you. And I'm just like, it's one thing if I was asking for it, because I'll be like, I don't know, for me, it's a little.
Which she would never ask for that.
Yeah, I feel that'd be really uncomfortable for me to, like, I feel petty if I do that. Like, just for me. But
interesting.
Yeah, but when people do it out of the blue, it just means that, they do mean it. And they do care.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the challenges, and I think we could talk about this another time, but one of the challenges of being a pastor is that there's a lot of things that pastors go through. And it's a lot of unspoken things. Because there's a lot of internal things that are happening too. It's not just the busyness of ministry, which is extremely busy.
Yeah.
But it's also the wearing of the soul. Like after Sunday, I am so worn out. I can't, like, I remember last week, I was trying to hang out with the EM people, but my head was hurting. I'm like, I don't think I can kick it with them. So I stayed for like 30 minutes and I was just eating, and then I'm like, okay, I can't do anything more. Just because I was not in a great headspace. I knew that if I stayed longer, I would say things that may not be pastoral, may not be, like, it may actually distract them, or I'll become a lot more, like, a little bit more unhinged. So I decided to just remove myself from it. So this job it's still a job. So you still gotta stay professional. But whenever I'm around, like I do my very best to be the best pastor I can be. But then in those moments, it's hard. Like selfishly, as a human, I wish like I can be acknowledged and be appreciated.
Yeah.
But it's so for me, I find it so selfish to ask for that. because at the end people are like, oh no, you're acknowledged by God, that God sees all and God honors you and God appreciates you, so you don't
Which
need
is
care for praises of
true.
men. So I get that, and it's
Yeah.
totally true.
But
I think
still nice.
It's still nice. It would be still kind of nice. So
Yeah.
it is something, like I admit I'm a people pleaser. So that's something that I like want, but at the same time I would never ask, because I know it's going to feed into, if I get too much of it, it'll feed into an insecurity of mine that I don't want to get fed.
Man.
Like I do want to be more secure in just pleasing God, and that's all that matters. But I think when I hear from other people, it kind of reaffirms that, like, I am pleasing the Lord. I don't want to, it's more than hearing like, oh, you're doing great, or you're so good. I think it's words like, I am, like, when I see you, I see God's love in you. When I'm with you, I'm being reminded of God's peace. When I hear you preach or teach, it's bringing me closer to God. When I hear those things, it doesn't puff up my ego, because I alone could never do that. I alone, in my own strength, as humans, we are not able to replicate or mimic the love of God on our own.
Yeah.
Only the Spirit gives us that ability and that capacity to show God's love to others. So when I hear those words from people, it's a confirmation that God is using me, that I am doing the Lord's work, and all credit goes to God at the end.
Yeah.
So for me, that matters more than hearing, oh, you're good, or you're such a wonderful pastor because you are so loving. Like, no, it's more of, I prefer very much hear the words of affirmation of, because of you, I'm being drawn closer to Jesus.
Love that. What are some of the things that you're going to be taking with you from today's episode?
You know what? I don't know.
Can I share what I'm taking? I think when you shared in the first experiences of ministry, you did it alone. And then you swung the other side of trying to get everyone involved. And then you continued in this ministry to see what's that balance of me clinging onto Jesus and praying for the things that I'm needing, and then waiting to see people show up, and then utilizing the gifting and talents that God is giving you to continue the ministry to draw closer to Him. Like, He is the goal. He is the purpose. He is the epitome, Alpha, Omega, right? As you gear your perspective and your views towards God, who else can run with you in that race? If you focus on that, I think ministry becomes more and more glorifying to the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Nice. Well, that's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I think that's something that maybe I'll take away with as well. Just a reminder that, because I'm going back into ministry. This is, in the next episode, actually, maybe I'll talk about more about the challenges in ministry, and even my journey from where I am now. Because right now I'm actually now still pastoring, when I thought by this point I would not be a pastor.
Right.
And I think one thing that I'm taking away from this is the reminder that, at the end of it, I'm here to please God. And anything that we're doing, anything as Christians, the chief end of man is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. John Piper actually changed it slightly, that statement from the Catechism, where he says the chief end of man is to glorify God by enjoying Him forever. And if I want to please God and be not people pleasing but God pleasing, then I am to first enjoy Him. I am first to be the first to rest in Him, be the first to receive Him, first to lean on Him, depend on Him. And from there, there will come like security and even the wanting for not just him, but also his people to be in my life too and walk with me in this way. Something
like an overflow.
It's an overflow. Yeah. So that's something that I am grateful for, and grateful that I'm still learning. Even after all these years, I got to keep on learning and relearning, being reminded of why I'm doing what I'm doing is to please God. All our careers, we are, and how we're living our life, we are to please God, because in that there is our security. In that there is hope. In him there is joy and love and freedom,
peace and stillness.
Yeah. So it's not just that God wins all, we lose and we lose all. No, God wins and we win as well. It's a double win-win. It's a win-win. Right? The closer we are to Jesus, the more we please him, the more satisfied we are in our lives, the more secure we are in our identity, and the more and the more at peace we are with our future. So when it comes to ministry, that's my main goal of how I minister to students and to young adults, to anyone who I am serving. That my end goal for me as a pastor is to point others to the one who can truly satisfy our lives. So
with all of the talks of gratitude, I am grateful for you.
And I'm grateful for you, Sarah.
Well, tune in for next episode as we continue part two of Julie's career path and her life.